Police seek assistance after vandals destroy a putting green. Moms for America launch a new chapter in Washington County. And your daily weather forecast with highs, lows, and everything you need to know for the days ahead.
You're watching St. George News at 5, brought to you by our studio sponsor, We Win Injury Law.
Good afternoon, I'm Monica McLaughlin. A putting green at Greenspring Golf Course was vandalized over the weekend, leaving behind more than 50 holes and thousands of dollars in damage. Here's a closer look at the investigation and what it took to repair the course.
Vandals caused thousands in damage at Greenspring Golf Course in Washington City over the weekend. Maintenance crews arrived Saturday to find more than 50 holes and deep gouges in the 11th green. Damage estimated at over $6,000. It took 75 hours to repair the green, which was back open by Sunday. Police are still searching for those responsible and are asking anyone with information to call Washington City Police at 435-986-1515.
Moms for America has launched a new chapter in Washington County aiming to promote conservative values and parental involvement in education. For more on the group's goals and how it plans to engage with local families, here's Nick Fiala.
Locals gathered in St. George last week Wednesday to consider joining the nonprofit conservative educational corporation Moms for America, which is opening a new branch in Washington County. Moms for America State Director Carrie Bartholomew described the corporation's view that certain educational trends are pressuring kids and adults to value political correctness over objective truth. The organization claims that the indoctrination of children led to shifts from free market capitalism to violent communism in nations like China.
And it was children who were doing this. Children were taught to do this. One of the things they were taught to do, young people, they would walk through the marketplace and they would see somebody who was dressed in Western clothes. Because you might not know this, but before China went to communism, they lived a very westernized life. They had movie theaters and they wore like the cute little dresses of Doris Day and, all of that stuff. And then they removed it. And if somebody was walking around in the marketplace and just happened to have nice wingtip shoes or something, the kids would call out that person and say, here you are, or stand them up, and everybody's supposed to make fun of them. And if you don't make fun of that person, then you end up being the next person to be brought up to be made fun of.
Time will tell if Moms for America gains traction in Washington County.
Thanks, Nick. Let's take a look at your daily weather forecast, brought to you by Casablanca Resort and Casino. In St. George, it's sunny with temperatures around 83 degrees. Tonight, expect partly cloudy conditions with a low near 56 degrees. Tomorrow will be sunny again with highs reaching approximately 83 and lows around 56. In Mesquite, Nevada, it's currently sunny with temperatures near 85 degrees. Overnight skies will be partly cloudy with a low around 61. Tomorrow's forecast calls for sunny conditions, a high near 88 and a low around 62. Cedar City is seeing mostly cloudy skies and temperatures around 67 degrees. Tonight will remain cloudy with a low near 44 degrees. Tomorrow expect mostly sunny skies with highs around 69 and lows near 45. Now we'll head over to Jill Paulson for your weekly update on the Southern Utah real estate market.
Looking for luxury living in Southern Utah? Welcome to Tonnequint Cove, St. George's hidden gem. Nestled near the Tonnequint Nature Center and Southgate Golf Course, this upscale neighborhood features custom-built homes on large lots with panoramic red rock views. Residents enjoy easy access to trails, parks, and top-rated schools. Whether you're after peace and privacy or outdoor adventure, Tonnequint Cove offers the perfect balance of modern comfort and natural beauty. Currently, there are 2 homes on the market starting at $1.1 million. Come see these stunning properties for yourself.
Thanks, Jill. As spring arrives, wildlife in southern Utah becomes more active, and sometimes that means a visit to your backyard. For tips on how to spot and manage common critters, here's Alicia Lundgren.
When animals like pocket gophers or voles enter a southern Utahns' backyard, it sometimes creates a conflict. But Utah State University professor Nikki Fry said wildlife in yards isn't necessarily a bad thing.
Because it's always healthy for us to interact and see wildlife. There's a lot of mental benefits just knowing that you're connected to nature and connected to wildlife. One funny example that I tell people a lot is that if you have a skunk in your backyard, it's not necessarily a bad thing. So naturally, skunks are eating grubs in your grass, and that's a good thing because people don't want grubs in their grass. And so when you have skunks in your backyard eating the grubs out of your grass, they're really doing you a kindness. Another animal that we tend to get nervous if we see are bats. But bats are actually a service provider. They eat insects, they eat moths. So just having a habitat, having trees around where the bats can spend the night, or well, I guess in their case, spend the day, and then come out and eat the insects, that's beneficial. Even rattlesnakes aren't necessarily a bad thing to have. It's just not that we want to interact with those rattlesnakes, right?
Fry said that while there are plenty of opportunities for coexistence, Southern Utahns should contact her at the first sign of potential conflict.
Thanks, Alicia. Findlay Subaru presented a large check to Root for Kids as part of its annual Share the Love initiative, continuing a strong partnership supporting families and children in Southern Utah. Here's Jesse Bang for more on how this donation will make a difference.
Findlay Automotive, in partnership with Subaru of America, presented a $13,625 check to Root for Kids on Monday, continuing their long-standing commitment to supporting local nonprofit efforts. Findlay Subaru St. George General Manager Curtis Whitehead shared with St. George News why the team believes Root for Kids is especially deserving of the donation.
They focus on not so much the school need, but more of a different need on diapers and formula and stuff like that, more of the younger need and not so much the K through 12, but kind of like the 5 through K and younger. And so it's just a good need in this community that I think a lot of us don't realize is out there until you get involved and you see that it's a big need. There's giant need here.
Root for Kids events coordinator Michelle Sundberg expressed gratitude for local businesses like Findlay, whose ongoing support helps sustain the organization's work in the community.
Root for Kids is so blessed by having so many community partners in Southern Utah. We have businesses, we have just friends and people that believe in what we do, but the partnerships are important because without them, we couldn't do this. We're a nonprofit. We've been doing this for over 20 years now, but it takes the entire community to help us do what we do and help serve the families and the kids that we have.
Thank you for watching St. George News at 5. To learn more about our studio sponsor, We Win Injury Law, go to wewininjurylaw.com. I'm Monica McLaughlin with St. George News, your #1 source for local news.
This has been St. George News at 5, brought to you by We Win Injury Law.